I am today sharing with you specific number stats that I had shared in my previous video. Instead of just giving my opinion in this time, I'm going to go ahead and let the numbers speak for themselves. Alright, so let's get started. So on your screen right now, we should be looking at Glendora, San Dimas, and La Verne. This will take us from 2024, and this is going to be also applicable to the Upland Rancho Cucamonga stats that I'm going to show you. But this is for the month of August specifically at the very end, the right of your screen, Glendora. Let me go ahead and go to new listings. So for the month of August in 2025, Glendora had 40 new listings that month. San Dimas had 16. La Verne had 14. The month before, July, is Glendora had 56, San Dimas had 24, and La Verne had 27. If we go here to active listings, and keep in mind this is for all residential properties, so this is single family, lease, income, all of it, right? But just sales. So in August, for active listings, Glendora had 90 as of the last day of August, right? San Dimas had 47 and La Verne had 38. For pending sales during the month of August, Glendora had 31, San Dimas had 10, and La Verne had 18. For the month of July, Glendora had 37, 15 for San Dimas, and 22 for La Verne. As far as closed sales for the month of August, we were up and down, weren't we? Glendora had 38, San Dimas had 19, and La Verne had 25. So if you're colorblind, like my husband Richard, the top bar is Glendora, the middle point for August is La Verne, and the bottom point is San Dimas. So just in case, I need to cover that basis as well. I'm gonna go to days active in the MLS, and I chose to go with the average and not the median because this seems to be on everybody's mind right now. We are seeing an increase or a fluctuation, as you can see by the chart going back to January 2024. I mean, in February, March, we were seeing the days on market just go through the sky. So anyway, Glendora, right now we're sitting at an average days in the MLS as 28, San Dimas is 39, and La Verne is 23. And keep in mind, this is only until the end of August. And I will go ahead, I'm going to come over here to the percentage of original price for the month of August. So you have an influx of days on market, can be up, down, or just staying status quo from the month before. But what is really good to keep in mind is, okay, so if you sell in the 28 days or, you know, however many days you stay on the market, what's the percentage of your sales price to the original list price? Not the original price versus, and then you have the reduced price, the corrected price, whatever they're calling it now, but how much percentage of the original price. And this is when, across the board, I really just want to emphasize the point that I made in the last video. Don't be so quick to reduce your price, because as you can see, even though you are spending a few more days on market than what you'd probably like, or, you know, 28 more days on market than what you would like, Glendora sales price as compared to the original list price on average is going for 98.3% of the original list price. San Dimas is seeing 97.4%, and La Verne is seeing 99.5% of the original list price is their sales price. So when you're listing, you know, you guys can have a strategy as to when you think you should do a price reduction. Of course, your timeline as a seller is going to have a lot to do with that, but I would emphasize this number right here. You're just needing to be more patient, or you can not be so patient, but you might be leaving money on the table. So those are your choices at this point, really. And let's see, sales price the average. Laverne is seeing an increase, obviously, because here we are in July. Glendora is at $1,043,000 in July for sales price average, $1,127,000 for San Dimas, and then $886,000 in Laverne. And now we have everybody's kind of grouped together. We've all come together, kind of, for better or worse. Glendora has seen a decrease in sales price to $992. San Dimas has seen a decrease as well to $963, and then we have Laverne at $947, who has seen a substantial increase. So every market is micro, and I've told my clients that, I've told my friends and family that, and this is one more reason to believe that to be true, right? So all right, so this is kind of like a, I don't know, I don't really care for this stat. It's how many shows to contract. So how many times on average your home needs to be seen by a buyer before they're going to write up a contract or you go to escrow. And here we can see that for Glendora, for the month of July, you had to be at 6.2, right? San Dimas was 17.0, and Laverne was 15.9 showings. This is why I say I'm not fond of this stat. Shows per listing. In that same month that they're saying shows are 15, you know, and what have you, the average showing for Glendora was 4.2 in July. San Dimas had 5 showings on average, and then Laverne had 5.6 as well. And now you go to, let's just go through Laverne, because we saw them having an increased sales price, right, from the month of July to August. Well, they now have 3.9 showings per listing. That's like what we're looking at. San Dimas is at 3.6 and Glendora is at 4.3. So I really believe that this shows per listing and the sales prices and the original of percentage of original price that you actually have your sales price really reinforces what realtors say a lot. It only takes one. It only takes one buyer to go ahead and write up your contract and write up a contract for your home and just take it away. So I would really emphasize that point right now. So these are the stats for Glendora, San Dimas, and Laverne. And I'm going to switch over now to Rancho Cucamonga and Upland. Okay, so now I've changed the screen to Upland and Rancho. Now there is a disparity between the population between Upland and Rancho Cucamonga. I mean, it is something for the books, definitely. But I thought that this was a good region to kind of put together. And keep in mind, when I say Rancho Cucamonga, I also mean Alta Loma. I mean some parts of Etiwanda and what have you. So here we are. So new listings for August, we saw a decrease, 46 for Upland, and Rancho Cucamonga had 110. Active listings for Rancho Cucamonga was 309, compared to Upland was 145. I really wouldn't try to compare these two again because of the population. The amount of homes available is totally going to shoot this comparison to the moon. But more or less, if you're in the Upland area, see what the stats are doing. If you're in the Rancho area, see what the stats are doing. And honestly, if you're in Glendora, San Dimas, or Laverne, you could just individual. But it's good to kind of compare the city's performances and get a real bird's eye view of what I mean by micro markets. So, okay, so here we are at 145 and 309 for active listings during the month of August. And then we have for Rancho is 81 for pending sales, and we had 34 pending sales for Upland. Closed sales for Rancho is sitting at 103, and Upland is at 46. So it's nice to have that gap in between the lines, I'll be honest. So for the next video like this, I might just go with two comparisons instead. Let's see. Let's go ahead and go to the percentage of original list price. Interesting, they met at the same spot. So for the month of August, in Upland and Rancho, we are seeing 96.9% of the sales price is the percentage of the original list price. In July, just to give you a little bit of comparison there. So Upland was seeing 100% of the original list price, while Rancho Cucamonga was seeing 98% of the original list price. Let's see. Okay, so I've changed it to days active in the MLS on average. And here we have 40 days for Upland and 43 days for Rancho. Which, let's go back to July, and we were seeing 34 days on the market for Upland and 22 days on the market for Rancho. So Rancho has definitely seen an increase. I mean, both cities have, but Rancho's double. So that's just something for you to keep in mind. But I will take you back to the percentage of original list price. We're at 96.9%. So again, patience versus your list price, leaving money on the table. That's really where we're at. And then I'll do, let's see, shows per listing. Again, we're at 3.7 for Upland and 3.4 for Rancho. So it's cool to kind of see where they are very similar and where they are complete opposites, right? So there we go. That is your stats for Glendora, San Dimas, Laverne, and Upland and Rancho Cucamonga. If you have any questions, feel free to call me. I should say feel free to keep calling. In any case, I hope that this video found you doing well and you found it informative. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye.